Even my mama thinks that me mind is gone.
There's this fucking, I'm part of this group called Slackers Bragging Rights. It's like a group that just races, and yeah, I've never entered their races, but I'm part of that group, right? And I posted that photo of me victory in the first Manufacturers Cup win, right? And then this dude, Imhotep, posts his photo, third. That was that WRX I was complaining about in the race, that Imhotep dude. That's him.
He was in the race.
He was in the race, and he's part of that group. What are the odds, huh?
That's funny.
I'm like, hey, I was in that race. I was the guy that won it. He'll know who the Drags is from now on.
How did you get in that group?
Fucking when we were doing GT Sport back in the day, Griffo, or one of the racers that came to the lobby invited me to it, saying, oh, like, you love your lobby and shit, you know, you should come and race other things. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll join it, just to see other races, not like to enter them or nothing. But yeah, there is a whole group. There's like 100 members and shit.
Competitive camp.
Yeah, and there are 100 members strong and shit, Chiefy.
No.
So I'm like, I just chuck up a screenshot there of like the car and shit. Yeah.
Cool.
I've got them on mute because they fucking message at all stupid hours in the morning and shit. So I got the fucking group on mute, but I just go in and check it every day. Yeah, I mean, see what they've been posting. Because yeah, they're like just 100 people. You can imagine like your phone and shit going off in the middle of the night. Fuck off! You can't.
I don't have the app open on my phone.
No, even if you don't have the app on your phone and that, like my iPad goes ding, you received a PlayStation message. And it's like, oh no, mute that, please.
Fuck, comes on Discord, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They used to annoy the cunt out of me. And they'd just be talking to each other. It's like, really? Join the party and talk to each other, you fucking
Why do I have to get ding, ding, ding just because you want to fucking ask this kind of question? They're like, yeah, fuck.
Not what Discord's meant for.
Yeah, they overuse Discord.
Well, it kills you. And then you've got to put your phone on mute.
Yeah. So there's no point being part of it and shit. You know, like, it's like that.
Then you got to be not part of everything else in your fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah, that good.
This crap.
Quite a busy group, that one. Fair few races in there. They set up like fucking like bragging rights races where somebody fucking starts a lobby with certain rules and shit. You just turn up, you know, enter under those conditions. This race, you know, like. But obviously there's a couple of dudes in there that are quite fast, you know, because they're in my races. Like I've raced against some of them and they're fucking fast. Like that Imhotep dude, he was moving. He only outraced himself. He was only 4. He outraced himself by pushing hard. Imhotep.
What are you posting? What do you do?
Like just for the bragging rights, just like posted the screenshot of his 3rd place victory like I did. Yeah, he's like posting like obviously he was proud of his 3rd place. Yeah, I would have been fucking happy with 3rd in that race, Chiefy. I'm ecstatic that I got 1st, but I would have been happy with 3rd. Yeah, I was 9th on the grid, Chiefy. 9th on the grid. To get like the 1st is a miracle. To get 3rd, I would have been fucking happy.
Stephen Bradbury.
You didn't even say anything?
Nah, I haven't seen. He hasn't responded since his photo or anything like that. He just gets buried underneath the rest of the chat most of the time.
Chat.
You know me, I like to flex my fucking wings and shit, so fuck it. I'll post more wings and shit there.
Typing fucking messages.
That's what it's for. Know what's going on. He's getting what
when they fix up the lobbies here, so I can save the settings of the lobby and shit like that, I'll probably start running my own lobby again. I used to fill that shit up daily, I remember, Chasey. Like fucking, there was never a dull moment in that lobby where it was like fucking no races.
Yeah. That was good. I've never seen anything.
And it was good because they were good races. Yeah, and like, and it was the same faces.
You saw the other day, TV, when I started that lobby up. How many people joined?
Fuck, yeah.
Oh no, but the difference being that when we were running that lobby on GT Sport, the consistent faces that we seen turn up.
I know, but that was to just randomly set that lobby up and it's like, oh, no one will join, and then within 5 minutes there was fucking 10 people in there.
If you look at other lobbies, it's pretty random, like all around like 3, 4 people in lobbies and stuff. It doesn't work. That's why I didn't expect that. Yeah. People must know.
Well, it just shows you that people want to race against other humans other than the fucking AI.
Yeah, I just wanted to get in there and fuck around, so I don't know. Because most of them weren't doing any real racing.
Well, look at that dude that was drifting the track. He was just out, he's fucking Sylvia drifting. That's all he was doing. And I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to probably get good footage for himself of him like drifting through cars as they're racing and shit like that. Yeah. Which would look sweet. I would want that footage myself. So like, everybody else is racing and here you are drifting, keeping pace. It looked awesome. I'm thinking about like if I ever like see a replay like a crash in front of me, like fucking 2 cars crashing and shit like that. Saving that replay and then start taking photos of crash of the day and shit like that. just like take a race photo of that moment and be like, look at these dickheads. Make that my thing. Crash of the day. Grab it. So there guys. Much better. Through that chicane. Took that head was better that time. Hey, guys, that's a new fucking best out the track. We're now running off a qualifying time of 1:39.675. Just shaved a 100th of a second off it. And what's a 100th of a second worth, Mr. Sick Unit? Like $1 million bucks?
Yeah, $1 million bucks. About that. 0.1.
Yeah, 0.1, yeah. I just took 0.1 off my time. Pretty much. Yeah, 0.1. Yeah.
0.1 is $1 million of R&D.
Yeah, well, there we go. My team just, did their R&D.
That's why they've been trying to limit the Formula 1 teams of late. Because it's just gotten out of hand.
In what regard?
They've tried to cap it at, I think, $120 million a year. You have to be able to operate on $120 million a year. You can't spend any more than that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it levels the playing field so that one team can't dominate over the others, yeah?
Yeah, because every few years they're given new rules to cope with new standards and whatnot.
Well, it's like the whole... Yeah.
So then they go about exploiting those rules as to how they can change the car to make the car go faster.
Yeah.
And they just want to limit that part of it.
There hasn't really been a dominant racing team. It's never, every company's had their shine.
It's just they had to stop the Mercedes dominance.
Oh, they were doing alright, but the other...
Mercedes were spending bottomless pits of money. Like they estimated it being over $1 billion a year that they were spending on development for that car, and they just couldn't allow it to go on. No other team could even come close. Red Bull, even with all its riches, still couldn't come close.
I was like the fucking them stepping in still in America over this Blizzard Activision deal with Microsoft. The government's really stepping in, going, "Nah, we're not liking what we're seeing because it is leading to a monopoly." And that it's why, say, Walmart could buy a Target tomorrow. They've got enough money, but it's illegal for them to do so because it creates a monopoly. There's rules to say that you can't do it. So yeah, that's still heavily under investigation at the moment. Been watching that news. That deal might not go through. Just chucking it out, might not go through. No, because it's a monopoly. If Microsoft get too big for the marketplace and they own everything, then it's a monopoly. You have to buy. Because then you have to buy, because it's not good for business. You know what I mean? It doesn't breed progression. Yeah, but it doesn't breed progression. Yeah, but in order for enterprise to be a sustainable thing, you need competition. That's been agreed to long ago. That competition's needed.
Yeah, it's a rule in America.
Yeah, it's a rule. Yeah, big rule. Yeah, but you need competition. If you got no competition, you can sell shit for fucking whatever you want.
It's only a rule in America. It's not a rule here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I know that it's there. It's a rule. It's for them. You shut most people from owning whole people
yeah, which is exactly the name of their game.
It's meant to make it a free market.
Yeah, I'll tell you so, like with capitalism you don't want a monopoly. Yeah, but that's in capitalism you don't. I mean, think about the game Monopoly. When does the game end? When everybody owns everything and everybody else is bankrupt, right? Yeah, exactly. When you break everybody else, but then it's broken, you pack it up and you put it away. So therefore, in order to avoid that situation, you put in rules saying, hey, healthy competition and shit. So that the game lasts forever, correct? The game lasts forever if you can't have a monopoly. You know what I mean?
The idea is that it just makes it so new competition can even come into the game. Yeah. Because if you have a monopoly, you can potentially crush anybody that comes in. Anyway, even if you've got,
And it's not giving customers a choice between another brand. Then it's only your brand. So therefore, it's not fair. It's not good for the consumer. Anyone really. No. The point is to be aggressive and to make
it was just to be protective of their market over there. So that all businesses could get a fair go. It wasn't meant to be,
I get your point that it's against the rules of the game type thing, that you're meant to capitalise and all the rest of it, but you do need competition, to continue to grow. Because if you don't have competition, you don't grow. You've got no reason to. As you said with video games recently with Rockstar, where's their competition? They've got no competition, they've got no reason to grow. So there's a monopoly of a genre of game. Imagine that applied to business. You know what I mean? That applied to business would be dangerous, because that company can charge you whatever the fuck they want for that product. You don't even have an option to go to the competitor. Well, it's to keep it safe for us as the consumer, I feel, so that we do have options that we're not sort of, controlled by one organisation. Yeah, you let one person be in charge. They set the price for everything. You know what I mean? You've got no say in the matter. Can't even vote with your wallet and shit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
We had it happen in this country not that long ago. two hardware giants went up against each other, and one won. There was a new mob to this country, but they've been in the US for a long time.
Tool shed?
No, bastards. Yeah. Only briefly though, because Bunnings crushed them. Bunnings just undercut them in every way they could. And Bunnings just crushed them. Bunnings. Bunnings beat everything. You can't.
The supply that they have access to, they can just do it dirt cheap. You just can't find it. It's like Dan Murphy's. Dan Murphy's owns that market. The only reason being is their access to the goods.
Well, it's their backing. They're backed by the Coles Myer Group, so their buying power is just
phenomenal,
mind blowing. Yeah, their buying power is just absolutely mind blowing.
Like, I used to be in charge of the storeroom here in Traralgon, Chiefy, and no shit, I used to go in every day and I was in control of $2 million worth of stock. And that's just here in Traralgon. Just $2 million worth of stock sitting there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was amazing.
Think about how big all the Bunnings are in the city, Chiefy. How much stock's there, and how much stock's moving around. And it all comes from a central warehouse. So they just do, nothing comes from a third party, but they do all their own shit. And it's just a big fucking machine.
To the point, you should see their warehouses, Chief. They're almost futuristic to the point where it's minimal staff. It's a lot of auto pickers and shit doing the work. And you just turn up and basically the auto pickers have done it. These are just machines that sort of know where the stock is, and they just send out these little, AI pretty much fucking forklifts and stuff like that, or pickers and conveyor belts and stuff, but they call them auto pickers more or less. But then there's not much manual labour there, I'll tell you that much. I've seen videos of it like the Dan Murphy's warehouse and shit. It's very, very, very fucking heavily automated. But they've got the money. You look at their warehouse and you see that, and you're like, yeah,
Well,
they've got the money, and that's
they've got
why.
the backing to, they can spend that money. They've just got, it's just a constant turnover of money. That business Bunnings is fucking huge.
Well, that warehouse at Dan Murphy's, where all of their stock comes from, it's the same setup. They have a centralised warehouse where they then spit out all of the products to all of their stores. And that central warehouse that has all of those goods in it, you're looking at hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock sitting there. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stock sitting there. Like, just amazing amounts. Mountains upon mountains of alcohol. it's ballistic to see the imagery of it when I was working at Dan Murphy's, just going, fuck this, that is huge. Ever seen friggin', never used to watch them, they were popular a few years ago, but fucking forklift accidents in warehouses and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And, oh bro, some of them, bad. See that dude that wrecks the fucking, the bloody alcohol warehouse essentially, and just bottles and, just, you hear the sound and it's, dangerous shit.
Chiefy's a good forky driver. He'll take down a shelf or two.
But they've actually streamlined Dan Murphy since I've been working there in the past. Like, back in the past, it was, like, as I said, like, fucking, I had $2 million worth of stocks in there. I went there friggin' probably about 3 years ago, and the dude that replaced me recognised me type thing, and he was like, oh, you used to work here and that, like, we're friends and that. It's like, oh, come and check out the warehouse, like, you see how different it is now. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So he took me out the back to the warehouse. All of the stock's gone now, like, all of it's gone. They've, like, cut it down to now that then you would probably only have $200,000 worth of stocks in there. That it's more faster to get it and shit, and they don't need to have it sitting in stockpiles. I don't know, the business model's changed drastically. Yeah, he used to have $2 million worth of stock sitting there. Now, yeah, fucking next to nothing. Most of it's out on the floor. And they only replace it when they run out, obviously. Fucking imagine driving that car with that door open. Fuck that. You watching fucking that movie, Sakita?
No.
Okay, is that bit where he's driving the fucking Ford GT thing and the door's open on the car and it won't fucking close?
Oh, it won't close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to do a whole lap with it. Flapping.
Fucking imagine driving that car with that, yeah? No way.
What are you watching?
Ford versus...
Because what
Shelby
actually
or
happened in real life is that when he got into the car, when he went to shut the door, he wasn't sitting all the way down in the seat, so his head was a bit further up than it normally was, and that car was only 40 inches high, so when he slammed the door, it clipped the top of his helmet and it actually bent the top of the door frame.
Ah, because you see the dude there, he just gets a hammer, he just happens the door closed. It's just like, bang! It's fucking like, yeah.
Oh, apparently when he came into the pits, all they had to do was somebody actually ran at the car and just kicked it, and just kicked the door shut.
It's a pretty well done movie. It looks like, you know, like time period accurate and shit, just like looking at the visuals
Oh yeah,
and
it's done pretty good.
Costumes and everything, it looks like you can almost believe.
Now you've probably already seen it. Have you seen the little blue Cobra that Shelby drives around in all the time?
Oh no, I haven't really been paying attention. I had to go down the stairs and go that
Right.
bed, so I probably
If
missed
you
that.
see that car,
Yeah.
that car is an exact replica of
The car.
Shelby's. It's number one. It's the first Cobra, and Shelby always kept it for himself.
Yeah.
The Shelby family still owns that car. That car's valued at priceless. No one is game enough to put a figure on it. So apparently somebody offered the family $21 million for it, and they turned it down.
Was he really like? Was this driver really this fast in this competition and that, like just passing the field?
Yes,
like
he
is?
was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Apparently Ken Miles was just another level.
Because like I know the movie's making it look extravagant and that, but he's just like passing them like they're standing still almost.
No, on the second last lap of that race, he set the fastest lap time. Like he just kept crushing the fastest lap over and
like
over
lap
again.
after lap, yeah.
Yeah. But he's been racing, not him himself, but with the co-driver, because there was only two of them in those days. You just raced with one co-driver for 24 hours.
Oh, is this like the 24-hour race or something? Like where that?
Yeah, this is the 24-hour of Le Mans.
That track.
On Sarf.
Yeah.
Yeah, in France.
Thought some of those corners look familiar.
It'll look a bit different on that one too, because in those days there was no chicanes on the back straight. So you know how you go down that big long back straight, and then there's a chicane, you speed up, and then there's another chicane, and then you speed up again.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, that straight was just straight all the way through.
What a crash. That was a bad crash. Ferrari's out.
By the time they were hitting the end of that straight, those old cars were doing over 200 miles an hour. That's fast as fuck.
I think that's about the speed that Ferrari just wiped out on that car that was sitting on the corner on fire in the movie. Ferrari's gone. Not a bad movie. I have to watch it fucking when I can hear it sometime. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Still no Days of Thunder.
No, but it's not a bad movie, and it's pretty period correct, and just the politics and that of the time, and especially Shelby's interactions with Henry Ford, they're pretty good too.
Fuck, Carlton won by a point?
Yep.
No, I won't mention it, Chiefy, but they're talking about your boys. I won't mention it. That's a dreadful score to see, Chiefy. On your behalf, that's a dreadful score to see for you.
Snatch defeat.
Oh, no, that's a dreadful end score, though. Like, dreadful end score. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought that they were winning, like, that they beat you for the entire game. Yeah, I mean, like, looking at that score, I would have said that they stomped you for the whole match.
In the 3/4.
Yeah. And for you to tell me that you were 25 points ahead and had that been the final score, I feel sorry for you. That would have just been pain to watch as a supporter.
Just go. I was actually just doing some housework.
Yeah, if I was you, I probably would have went and found a bit of rope and got noose. We were a bit worried for you a bit there, Chiefy. We thought you'd maybe drag out a rope and sort of hug yourself to the lounge room.
Fashioning a noose.
But I wouldn't have blamed you. I mean, looking at that score, it was pretty fucking bad. They killed you, bro.
Magic came in to hang shit on you and you weren't here.
I didn't hear Magic, of course, but I seen him pop in and then pop out. And as Six said,
he just comes in, he goes, "Where's Chiefy?" I said, "Oh, he hasn't been on for a bit." And then he just went.
Check his friends list because just check Chiefy's still there.
Yeah. He was here for one reason, Chiefy, just to sort of lord it over here a bit, I think.
I know he would have been. And he would have, and fuck, if it was the other way around though, he would have been fucking...
He wouldn't have been here.
He wouldn't have come in.
He wouldn't have come in.
For the next fucking 2 months.
He wouldn't have come in if you...
It was
That's how I knew you lost.
Yeah, that's how we knew.
He just came in and asked for you, and it's like, yeah...
Yep.
Fucking Saints won.
As soon as Sick Unit said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, he's a Saints supporter, isn't he? Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to watch the match at that point. Yeah, we didn't even have to watch the match at that point, we knew. Apparently Sony's buying another company too. Nobody really knows what it is, but there's a lot of people going, "Oh, it's Take-Two," and it's like, get your hands off your dick, bro. And like, Sony's not buying Take-Two. That's never going to happen. Like, I mean, like, that would never, ever, ever, ever happen. True. Is that, well, no, that way they won't buy fucking Take-Two. They don't have enough money. Because it's already owned by fucking, what's its face? Fucking that Chinese company. And they won't let go of it. You know, Tencent is part of their sort of empire, so they won't let go of it. So you're not buying Take-Two. But the other suggestions are either Capcom or Konami. One of those two. Yeah, well, Konami would be a good one to buy because Konami owns Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and all of those fucking great games that they now do nothing with. It would be really good if Sony got their hands on Konami to bring some of them back. Because they've got some really good IPs that they do absolutely nothing with. Well, you know what, actually, they do something with them, and it's sick to see. When I was working in the pokies, I seen a Resident Evil pokey machine, and I just was like, fuck me dead. Like, that's why I don't see Resident Evil games no more, because you fucking make pokies now. Because Konami also makes pokies.
They did the soccer ones back in
the day. They did a couple of soccer games back in the day. So if PlayStation bought Konami, that'd be a good thing. Capcom,
didn't Capcom make Resident Evil?
Well, no. So yeah, they make Resident Evil, but Konami made Silent Hills. You know, like it was like the competitor to Resident Evil. But see, if you bought Capcom, you'd get Resident Evil, you'd get your Street Fighters, that type of stuff. I don't know. I'd prefer them to buy Konami than, Capcom any day of the week. Konami's just got better IPs. I mean, Sony could bring back Metal Gear Solid at that point because they own it. And Metal Gear Solid is a fucking amazing franchise.
I'm playing that one, I think it's PS2.
Yeah, the first ones were great. The first ones were great for stealth games. They made the whole stealth genre. Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 1 and 2 back in the day. but they're dead IPs now. That's the problem, because Konami sits on them, and like they don't really invest money in video games no more, like because they've lost their way, more or less. They're just greedy and just want to sell it off as pokies and just hold on to the IP. It would be good to see someone like Sony buy it off them and say, well, no, we own you now. We own those games. Let's start making games again. Especially with the modern graphics and stuff like that, because some of those games, like Silent Hill, so I don't know if you ever played Silent Hill, but Silent Hill was, yeah, it was a really good game. Imagine how good that could look now with like current graphics of like fog and stuff. It would look amazing, yeah?
It's kind of similar, like, it's like a zombie.
Oh, Ghost, Haunted Town, Parallel World type shit,
yeah. Playing Alone in the Dark.
Yeah?
Fucking that literally, I think I've ever had a game that's just scared me.
I'll say Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and that, like, that would...
No, play Outlast.
Yeah.
If you want a game that scares you, play Outlast.
Yeah.
Outlast will frighten the fuck out of you. And play it in a dark room too.
Yeah.
That's the other
Damn.
Yeah. Play it in a dark room and Outlast will frighten the fuck out of you.
Nah, I'll tell you actually one game I'm really excited for that actually had like scary factors to it that did scare you. Dead Space. Did you ever play that? Dead Space, you play this scientist dude, there's like a crashed spaceship and you've got to go out and investigate like what's going wrong with it. You're like this engineer dude. And yeah, when you get to the spaceship it's just sort of floating in space and it's pretty abandoned inside until you find out that everybody's turned into what's called necromorphs, these monster creatures, and the only way to kill them is to actually use your gun to shoot their limbs off. Like you gotta shoot their limbs off to stop them from moving and shit, and then shoot their head off and finish it. It's like, and in outer space, real atmosphere of fucking aloneness and dark and scary, just amazing game. They're actually making a remake of it right now, which will be coming out in the next year or so. So fucking, I'm actually really excited about that. So it's a scary as fuck, like space horror game. It's really, really well done. Well, look it up, Chiefy, like Dead Space, and just even like where they are now with progress, and the respect that they're asking the fans what the fans want to see, because they know it's a fan favourite IP and they don't want to fuck it up, so they're actually asking like the fans' opinion, saying, hey, what do you think of this? Yeah, and they're actually showing us behind the scenes to a degree. I watched a whole half an hour presentation where they were like, alright, we're going to present the game, but at the start, I felt sorry for the poor bastards because they're like, please don't judge it and that it's not complete, like, you know, you're going to be missing animations and textures and that, you know, it's like just so apologetic over this fact, you know what I mean, that it's like not perfect looking and shit like that, and to me as a gamer, I'm sitting there going, please stop apologising for that shit. I don't care if it doesn't look polished and perfect. I just want to see the game mechanics that you want to show us.
They just know the expectations.
Well, exactly, and all they wanted to do with this like footage was just show some of the game mechanics that they're working with that are new, like as far as sound and that's concerned, to the point where you walk up to a door, right, and because it's a spaceship, so they're all compressed segments and stuff like that, you know, air and that. So fucking, you walk up to this door and you can hear this silent, like sort of this music that's really muffled and shit, you know, like because it's behind that door. As you walk up to the door like slides open like it does in a spaceship, like psst, slides open, and then all of a sudden the music changes like so drastically that you can hear it like because it's coming out of that room, and like you can hear sound around corners and stuff, and this is the type of things that they just wanted to show you know, the new sound mechanics and shit. So it doesn't need to look pretty when you show me this type of shit, just show me what you work with, you know what I mean? So,
and you know what the music was, Chiefy?
yeah. It was some kind of listen to a subwoofer in the back of the spaceship. Yeah, but it was just good to see, like, and also they went to this.
guts, bro.
One of the impressive things that they show you, Chief, is they're like fucking, oh, this is the sound of the guns. We want to get the sound of the guns right. And so they show you the sound of the gun. And you're like, oh yeah, it sounds like a gun. It sounds pretty impressive and shit. And they're like, all right, but we're going to show you how we made that sound. And it's actually 15 different layers of sound all merged over the top of each other to make one sound. It's really actually quite impressive and shit. And it was just a good display of what they've got at their disposal. Nothing more. You know what I mean? Like, and it looks very promising because they are listening to their fans. So, look into it. Dead Space. You'll be impressed. The first games were perfect. Like, the first games were literally perfect. I remember there was a gold trophy for the first one, Dead Space 1, and it was called, I forget what it was called, but you had to basically finish the game with the starting gun of Dingsha, which is the equivalent of a pistol, and you had to finish the entire game with that, just that gun, never use another gun. I actually got that trophy. But yeah, like the game was just very scary and very, yeah, well done. Because you've even got rooms that are like zero gravity and shit. And yeah, like those rooms are just really interesting because there's a zero gravity environment. They sort of fucked up number 3 though. They did fuck up number 3, I will say that. But number 1 and number 2 were good, number 3 was pretty shit. But they've learned from their mistakes and they give them another go. Yeah. No, I feel the apologeticness was because of our expectations of games and that yeah, like, we do judge them quite harshly, you know, to the point where these cunts are too scared to show us their shit before it's finished and that. We'd rather see it in its progress state so we can have input. True. And that's what this company was doing. They're taking a bit of a gamble by saying, hey, please don't judge us too heavily for how ugly it looks. We just want your advice on how we can, you know, progress type shit. Which is fucking refreshing, because not many other fucking companies do that nowadays, yeah? You don't see that buggy shit until you buy it. Nah, apparently no. They're actually even committed to the whole argument of they're not putting microtransactions in the game because it didn't exist in the original, so putting them in now would be against the original, yeah? So no, they're going to not do it. Stay true to the original, which is, once again, laudable. Yeah. Just for now. Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the long run, but for now you said something nice and, you know, now you got to hold it. DLCs and that maybe, where they decide to expand the story, possibly. Give a bit more backstory to some of the what's going on in the spaceship, because to break it down for you, a bit of a spoiler type thing, but what's causing all of these people to morph into these beings is that we find some, like, it's set in the future where we've got the technology to literally crack open planets with these big spaceships and get the resources directly that way, crack open entire planets. It's like very far-fetched science fiction type shit. But in the process of doing that, we crack open this planet, or on the planet we find this marker, and it's like this statue that's got all these ancient glyphs on it and shit, and we bring it back to the spaceship, and it's fucking with our heads and morphs us into these monsters and shit that corrupts you. And that's the entire gist of the game. You know, they like try to, you know, yeah, and it's got a lot of lore behind it, like where does the marker come from, who made the marker, because they just call it the marker, this statue thing. And yeah, it would make a mad fucking horror movie. Like that way, it would make a fucking sick as fuck horror movie if this game is successful, and then they decide, oh fuck, we might try to cash in on Hollywood and that. Do it exactly the way the game sort of depicts it, and you've got a blockbuster. Yeah, you'd have a literal blockbuster. But yeah, keep your eye on that game, Dead Space, because it's just awesome. One of the most atmospheric, scariest games I've ever played, since we're talking about scary games. That's probably my number 1, Dead Space. just like, yeah, just remembering moments right now. Like you're in like, you know, fucking one part of the spaceship where everything's like pressurized in that, and then you've got to go, like, you go through a door, and then the door closes behind you. But you're in like this part of the spaceship's being destroyed and it's exposed to outer space. And just the sound difference between being in that room that's got an echo to a room that's got no echo. And they did it really well. And to know that they're going to do it better again with 3D audio, just, yeah, gets you really excited. So the only reason I'd actually think about friggin' the higher level of the PlayStation Plus that they're going to offer to us to be able to replay the original versions of those games if it's part of the collection. Because there is a certain few games. That's a sly move. What's that? This is the unit. He just, I'm saying what he just did. He just like takes a spare bolt from his pits, walks over to the Ferrari yard and drops it on the ground to make him think that their car's missing a bolt or something.
Left something off it. You're a fucking idiot.
What a smart ass. So now they're going to call the car again.
I don't know what you fucking left the bolt off.
Yeah, fucking smart. That's a dirty move. You should have seen that one checking out the movie. He just walks over to the pits and just drops a bolt beside him. The guy finishes his conversation, looks down. Wait a second, where's this bolt from? How to win a race. Oh, which section are they coming up to? Oh, what a quarter.
Yeah, Carroll Shelby actually won the 24-hour Le Mans. So he had a good racing pedigree. He won it in an Alfa Romeo.
Whoa, did I crash? Those were the cars that were racing against each other, like that Ford against those other cars. No wonder it fucking annihilated them. It just looks like from the cars that I'm seeing on the track. Yeah,
those
of course
Ferraris were very fast.
But it would be the only thing that kept up with this thing on that track. The rest of them were like, nah.
The rest of them were pretty out of it.
Yeah, well,
because if you look at that Porsche from the game, the one that we used in that last license test, that was the car that Porsche had to come up with to beat that car that you're watching.
Yeah.
And if you look at them, they're very similar in shape.
Yeah, strangely enough.
Yeah.
And colour scheme almost.
Yeah, well, they do have the same livery in that respect. Gulf Western was the one that sponsored those cars, so yeah, it was very strange that the Porsche came out the next year and had the same shape pretty much as the GT40.
Yeah, just different arse end really, if anything.
Yeah, with a Porsche motor in the back of it.
Yeah.
And not a dirty, great big unreliable American V8.
I just keep on thinking that it's Batman driving the car though. It's the only problem. Every time I look at the screen, I'm like, yeah, it's Batman driving the car.
He does alright though.
Yeah, I forgot the Batman one. Batman won this race.
Yeah, that movie just sort of shows too that it wasn't smooth sailing for them. Like Ford through endless amounts of money at the cars. The cars were worth millions even in those days because they just had so much money spent on them.
Nothing like to run those cars for 24 hours though, yeah? Wow.
Yeah, it works out to be just over 3,000 kilometres.
Fuck.
But flat out.
Yeah, flat out for 3, yeah.
For 3,000 kilometres.
Well, we're getting it condensed down to 24 minutes in the next update, apparently.
Right.
Because they're going to release, like, the Le Mans 24 hour, but condense it down to
24 minute.
Yeah, 24 minute.
Yeah, lately the Toyotas have been dominating Le Mans, so we'll have to see if someone can beat them.
So the Tens are at the Dragon Trails this week, you know, it's just it's hard to beat. You know, it happens in certain tracks. Yeah, a certain car shines. Happened here in Australia when
in the real life GT3 cars, it turned out to be the fucking Porsche.
And that's the thing, like certain cars just turn up and shine, yeah.
Yeah, the meta car for the last few years in GT3 and in real life has been the Porsche.
Yeah, see, there's meta in real life too, Cheeky.
Yeah.
You have to get meta in life and drive the Porsche. So you can't complain about meta lobbies because it's real. That's the way it works in the real world. And if everybody could race a Porsche in that race, they probably would, yeah?
Yeah, the Porsche, the Mercedes, and then the Ford GT. And then probably the BMW after that. I do try and follow those 24-hour races.
Because it's a really, they actually are a good way to sort of determine sort of manufacturer and stuff like that, yeah? Worthiness to a degree. How good are your cars type shit.
Exactly. Your car's got to last that much punishment through day and night, through rain and whatever. They're going to undergo a lot of punishment. These days, though, they've got, 4 drivers, and it's a different story. Bring it back to the good old days where each driver had to do 12 hours each. Even bring back the good old days when the one driver did the whole Bathurst 1000. Don't need co-drivers.
No, I like the co-driver sort of aspect to a degree. Yeah, I do.
Bring back the days when they used to do it from start to finish. And then they brought in the rule that the co-driver had to do at least one stint. You could guarantee whoever was driving with Brocky only ever did one stint.
One stint, that's it. Just once.
Yeah. This cunt's driving the rest of the race.
Thanks for being here. We just need you for that just little moment. Now you go.
No one ever remembers who Brocky's co-drivers were. If they did the least amount of driving
work.
Yeah. No one ever. Do you think about that? how many times he was king of the mountain.
I'll tell you what, I probably couldn't name any of his
Name
co-drivers.
one of his
I
co-drivers.
couldn't name like one of them. I don't think. Craig Lowndes, maybe. Craig Lowndes raced once
Yeah,
for
I
him.
believe that. Yes, I believe they did.
Yeah. Maybe Craig Lowndes. I don't know.
I believe they might have once,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure if they won it together. But I know they did do it together at one stage, but I'm not sure if they did win it.
Larry, you would have raced with Larry once, I think.
No,
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 never.
no. In the early
Days, maybe.
and even then I don't think he did.
No?
Larry moved on his own very early on. Larry
Yeah.
was only ever a test driver for HDT. He was never a main driver.
And then sort of made his own car and entered
And
himself.
then made his own way, because he knew with Peter Brock there, and I think they even had Jim Richards at the time.
He was never going to get it right.
He was never going to get it right.
Like, if you were part of that team back when Brock was a lot, you would never get it right. As you said, you would never get it right.
No, he knew who the team was centered around, and he just knew it was time to move on.
Golden age of Australian racing.
As he said, he knew all their tricks, he knew all their technology. He just went and bought himself a car and
built his own
did
engine.
everything to it that they did it. He said he just copied their car and then started to tweak it to his own liking. And that's how Larry's team came about.
My favourite team, supercars of all time.
He was that bloke that always did it hard because he never had that big sponsor. He had Castrol at one stage, but that was rolling in money with him. He did it mostly off the back of his engineering company.
Yeah.
Perkins Engineering.
Until Castrol come along and went, throw some money at me now.
Well, even then, it wasn't. Yeah, they weren't throwing in large amounts. He wasn't getting the money that, say, Brock was getting, or Dick Johnson, or any of those drivers.
Oh, exactly. They were just paid to put their name on his car.
Yeah, basically. Giving him just enough money to be able to put the delivery on the car. And he made it work. He was one of the last holdouts on the original Holden engine. He was the last one to be using an old Holden 308 5-litre. In the end, it just got too slow. The little Chev engines were killing it.
Time moved on.
Yes. But he was one of the last holdouts on that engine.
He's my favourite racer of all time. Just remember watching this kid growing up, he was the racer I watched.
Larry?
Him and Engel. As his co-driver. Mr. Russell Engel.
My family was always Ford, so very early on it was Moffat. Even though he was American, he was a cocky cunt, I was Moffat. And Dick Johnson. They were the two to go for. Catch the Grand Prix. Even the F1, it's pain in the ass. I knew when it was on, I'd fucking watch it, but especially when they have it on late at night. KTM's been around since 1955. Didn't think so. Oh man. There's your father. Get away and do something. Like the next 5 months, just fast forward very quickly. Just want to get out of this state and not stay in the next state and move on to the next one.
Go state skipping.
Yeah, well, I'll stay there for a night anyway and then move on. But yeah, I just want to get out of here. I just want to fucking get out of here. It's too much to ask.
Let me out, he says.
I think I've been thinking about it. It's got something to do with COVID. It's COVID related.
It's COVID related.
It's COVID related. I'm going to pay money for this. Driving me insane because I haven't had a proper holiday in fucking 2 years or more. Yeah, I've been able to relax.
Yes, apparently I'll be getting my liberal bribe soon, $250 from the government, as part of the budget and shit, so there's my bribe. Yeah.
Don't fucking spend it all at once.
Oh, I know, it's a pretty big bribe, I might have to vote Liberal now. Yeah, like that, nah.
You'll be able to get your Nikes now.
TNs, bro, TNs.
Yeah. Get your TNs and you'll be fucking right. Blend in with the crowd. Get your TNs. I need to get out of here. It's just, I just need to get out of here. I need to see something different. Even if it is going to a theme park and having a whole heap of expensive glitzy shit dangled in front of me. I'm gonna buy it, damn it. Chiefy has to come to at least 2 theme parks with me. He has to come to Wet and Wild and he has to come to Crikey Land.
Right, well, wouldn't go if you're right that way.
Got to go to Crikey Land. Fucking pay me respects to old Crikey himself. I just won't bring up the South Park episode. There's a vicious lion over there. I'm gonna shove my thumb right up its bum. Occurs introduced in F1 in 2009. All these useless facts. Will they ever come in handy? Ferrari Destrosa. Bet gets them wet. That's a rear engine. The NSX. Nice car. Looks like the car before it. Corvette. Definitely has that same shape to it. Third generation Prius, 2009. Who gives a fuck? Why would anyone care about the third generation Prius? Music enters the download age. Old school Corvette, over 70s model.
Is there any new cars or anything? No.
Haven't even looked. Oh, here's the drift demo.
Alright, it looks fucking amazing. I love watching that drift demo.
It's just bullshit though.
I couldn't drift like that.
So he gives it a lot of handbrake going into the corner, and then he just guns it.
Yeah. He just grabs it just before it slides.
Because you see the back wheels lock up just before he goes into the corner. So he gives it a heap of handbrake. But he then just basically drifts around the whole entire track. It's around that Tsukaba circuit. And he just never stops drifting. Even down the back straight, he spins it all the way down the back straight. There's still smoke coming off the tyres. And then he does this big fucking vicious hook in. And then drifts around that entire last corner. Like, how the fuck do you do that? I bet there's a heap of cunts that can do it. I think the key is you've just got to have all that shit on your car and just have a bit of faith. You've got to have the hydraulic handbrake, you've got to have the steering kit, you've got to have the right car though. You've got to have one of these drift cars. It feels later because it's meant to be later. How he throws it around that corner, get fucked. And he's that aggressive on the fucking approach, and then he fishes it up the straight. Where's this come from? Is he from Thomastown or Broady? Only some cunt from fucking Thomastown could drive like this.
I just don't know how the fuck they do it.
Yeah.
Personally.
He's from Thomastown, I swear. To go around corners that sideways with that much smoke. Whereabouts do you live in Tomo, bro? Fucking Jesus. Yeah, you should see this, Chief. You've seen the demo, haven't you?
Yeah.
When it's going around that Sakaba circuit. Fucking the little short Japanese circuit, Sakaba.
Oh, yeah.
Sabuka, Sakaba or Sabuka or something. Yeah, it's a tiny little short track, and he just fucking slides around the whole thing. And it's like, man, what part of Tomo are you from?
Close to the border of Laylaw.
Fucking, yeah, just up near Laylaw there.
Any fucking Laylaw shops, bro.
I saw it not long ago. Dude in a Commodore pulls away from the lights down near the ring road. And they've even got all those speed humps there, and he pulls away from the lights and he's just smoked them. And then he's fishied it all the way up the road, like this perfect fishy as he's going faster and faster.
What was he driving?
A Commodore. Like a 16 model or a 18 model, like one of the last ones.
I saw one come.
And it was as lumpy as fuck. You should have heard this thing. You could feel the vibration from it.
Fucking good drivers out there, though. Remember one come, just as I was pulling off the ring road there onto the Bolton Road exit. Yeah, under the bridge there. Because
that's where I'm talking about.
Yeah, this cunt's come straight down that ramp, or that off exit. Yeah, and he's got a green line. He just hasn't stopped. He's just kept going and stopped his pace, and then he's just turned it and slid it out, and he's fucking sideways.
Fully sick sideways, and bro. That's what I mean. What part of Tomo are you from?
It's like fucking whoa. That was the best. That was like the best thing I've seen.
They all drive like that up there.
That was just fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it was like,
they all.
Whoa, I was impressed. I was fucking and he's driving like what was it, like a little Mazda thing, sort of like a 180X SX or something. Is it 100 SX or 200, something like that?
200 SX. They were a bit of a zip machine.
I think I had a neighbour that had one of those back in the day, parked in the driveway. Black one.
2 litre 6 cylinder.
It was black too. Yeah. This guy's just fucking whipped it. Yeah, just sideways under that bridge.
Because you have to get it sideways, mate, and then give it some shtick.
Fucking stick it, bro.
I can't believe how fast everybody is at this track. 138. I see. I fucking 139's 13th and third. Fuck me death.
So here's a Camaro Chiefy on the replay, like on the the screensaver thing, right?
Yeah.
And a Porsche just passed it like it was standing still.
Yeah. So why are they racing V8s? And V8 supercars for that? I'm not really that.
Well, because they've got to have a competitor to the Mustang. And now that Holden's no more, there's no car to use. So they have to go to a current car that they're now going to try and sell here. That's their aim, is just to sell Camaros. Yeah, I'm not even sure what they're going to do with the Colorado. Whether that's going to become the Chev, or it might become a Chev. Well, they're sold as Chevs in the US, so it's already done.
They sold those type of cars.
Yeah, they sell small ranges even in the US, but they just don't sell that many of them.
Yeah, not a big market.
Yeah. The market is for the bigger ones, the bigger boys, the F-Series and the Silverados. Yeah. But even the Silverado is a big seller, but they just don't sell as many of them as they do F-Series. F-Series is the American truck. How's this for a fun fact, Cheeky? They've made and sold that many F-Series trucks since their inception that if you put them not lengthways but side by side, they go round the Earth's equator 5 times.
That's unbelievable.
And that's not lengthways, that's side by side.
That's a lot of metal.
That's a lot of metal, mate. Think about it. That's a lot of metal.
Just in America alone. So that's since the 60s.
Fuck these assholes just pushing through that
How long we've been selling the F-Series.
Look at you, they're all going fucking wide as fuck on that corner.
It is rarely beaten as America's #1 selling car.
Chevy's pretty good. I like the Chevy truck.
They never come close to the F-Series. Never come close. Not even any sedan or anything like that. Nothing comes close to the F-Series inside. Apparently they sell an F-Series truck every 32 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. There's about 2 of them sold.
Yeah, an F-Series truck is sold every 32 seconds.
Fucking more than baby's born almost.
They're a big thing.
Every child on earth gets an F-Series that's born. You dog. Use me as a fucking cushion.
You're not spoiled for choice for trucks in America either. So it's amazing that the F-Series has actually kept its foothold. It must be because it's a good unit. Chev's got trucks. Dodge's got trucks. And Toyota's got trucks. They've got the Tundra, which is a big beefy truck. Jeep, the Rubicon, that's a big size truck now. We're finally getting that version of it. Big flared guards and it's a real full size truck. They actually look pretty cool. The dude down the road in Northern Road from work, he's got one, and it is a pretty big unit. Like it's much bigger than a Ranger or you know, a Colorado or a Moped. It's a pretty big fucking unit. Very wide when it stands. That's for sure. So that was when they had cheap gas prices. So it's just going to be interesting to see the way that those sales go in the future.
They got fucking those drive Hummers and shit.
Will this be the death of the F-Series? Well, the F-Series even killed the Hummer. The F-Series is actually the reason why the Hummer never got off the ground. No one was going to switch from a F-Series to a Hummer. Because in the end, Chev built Hummers. Unfortunately, road-going Hummers were always plagued with all those GM problems. We've tried to knock the F-Series off, they just can't. It's just a well-built unit. Yeah, even the fact the new one's not even a V8 didn't detract from it.
For some reason I can't fucking sit right. Well, I can't get comfortable.
Can't get comfortable.
Because of my back. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, it feels awkward racing.
You gotta get yourself a racing set up so you can get that control box closer to you in a comfortable seating position.
Yeah, not being a fucking office chair.
We said you have to spend $1 million to get 0.1 of a second. You've got to spend like $1,000
to get a chair.
You're gonna have to spend. No, you're gonna have to spend approximately $200 to $300 to alleviate
or
your
to get the
back
proper
issues.
setup. Like, you could keep spending up.
Well, you
to
could
keep
going.
getting an extra 0.1 of a second off your time, right?
You could keep going. You could be sitting in a thing on the floor that you have your TV set mounted to. And
I don't want to sit on the floor, no. That's
no,
the thing. I don't want to.
They had a couple of those there, and you see you sitting on the floor.
I don't want to sit on the floor.
No, I don't want to sit on the floor. I'd like the one that sits it up in front of me.
Yeah, or I've got a desk that my TV sits on. Yeah, it's a big fucking TV. So it's got to sort of fit
If
in
you
that
saw
to
the picture of the one I sent Chiefy, it's actually not a bad little design.
Yeah.
In that it's more or less just this thing that your pedals sit in and your steering wheel sits on, and you can adjust how close or far away it is to you, and you would be able to virtually sit it in front of your desk.
It has a chair and stuff, yeah?
No, it doesn't have a chair.
Ah, fuck. That's
It's a
the thing,
freestanding thing of its own.
I just need a chair if anything. I've got it mounted to the desk and that's fine. But if anything, I just need to get a better chair than this. I was thinking about just going and buying a fucking second-hand racing seat from the Wreckers or something, and then just fucking making a box to sit it on so I can just have it at the correct height for me in front of the wheel.
If you want a decent chair, but it's on wheels, you can get them from Office Works. It's called a Typhoon gaming chair.
Oh, nah, I'm over gaming chairs. I bought one of them and fucking, gaming chairs.
Nah, this is alright, this one, because it's a racing seat, though.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit different to it's actually got sides on it that hold you in. It's got, in your back, you sort of sit in this dent, and your shoulders fit in it, and you can sit yourself in nice and snug. Yeah, it's not a bad feeling chair. I even run mine without the armrests. I took the armrests off because I don't like sitting my elbows on anything when I'm doing stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I sort of, we're not racing.
So I got rid of the
I love
armrests.
the elbow wrist.
No, I got rid of them.
I've got to do some adjustments and fuck it really is my back. Fucking the top half of my back, I hate it because I'm feeling the arch of it now. Like the pronouncement of the arch. I fucking hate it. It's the worst thing.
Yeah, the only problem I could see with the thing that I saw that it's freestanding, and if I couldn't lock the chair into it somehow, I could see myself rolling away from it as I'm pressing on the accelerator. Like,
pushing yourself off.
This isn't gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
So I'd end up welding the chair to it somehow.
No. Chiefy's got the solution. Just get some brackets and just screw it into the floor.
Screw the chair into the floor.
Come on, you know that's how Chiefy would solve this shit, man.
There's one problem that I've got to fucking
get a bracket screwed into the floor. You can get through
that.
that. There's drill bits. There's drill bits for that. It wouldn't stop Chiefy.
No.
He would still drill it into the floor.
It's not the same as going through some wood.
Chiefy would find a way. Chiefy would find a way.
Yeah, dynamite it.
Dynamite it to the floor.
No shit, that's what Chiefy would do. He would fucking...
All about fasting
and making sure shit's secure, and there's no other way to make things secure other than screw it to the floor.
There's no way I'm fucking planking again.
He doesn't take half measures to secure it. There's no half measures here. It's screw it to the floor or nothing.
I don't want that to happen to me, and I know it'll be a case of the actual apparatus that I put the steering wheel on, that won't move. The fucking chair will, and I'll be screaming like I've just spent all this money and I'm planking. No, can't happen. I don't know if I could use a steering wheel. I'm just so used to the controller.
Oh, once you do use it, you just don't go back though. That's the problem. If you ever do use the steering wheel, you won't go back.
Use it. I've used one before. Don't get me wrong. I have had one in the past, but that was a long time ago.
It's just so much work. It really is.
Yeah, that's what I remember about it.
I'm happy
my shoulders and that
me hands,
aching.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where mine's just permanently
I
set
just
up,
sweat.
attached to the desk. I've got a dedicated area for it. I designed basically my
That's
entire
why
gaming area
if I
around it.
got a steering wheel, I'd have to get a contraption that put it in the exact posture that wouldn't make me sore.
Yeah.
And if like I could in a normal car, and if I couldn't do that, then I wouldn't like it.
I'm sort of getting to that level now where I mean I can sit comfortably enough, but ideally could be just that little bit more comfortable. Ideally.
You want to ultimately make it so you're in the perfect posture, so you can sit there for a few hours and play.
And I wish I could use both feet, like, you know, to brake and accelerate at the same time. I can't do that in an office chair because it swivels.
And that's where this device would help you, Drags, in that that's all connected to your steering wheel. Like, it's all...
Right, I feel I've got a bit of
same
fucking
unit.
skill for racing on a wheel. It's not like I can't do it. Like, I'm consistent and shit. You know what I mean? I'd like to get into it.
So get yourself 300 and just head on to the JB website.
It's okay. The Liberals would bribe me $250 to vote for them, so I'll just use that.
Well, there you go. The one I sent Chiefy, that was 221.
Similarly, welfare. Welfare recipients and shit. Fucking, I think we're meant to be getting like 250 or something. I don't know. Sarah was telling me about it the other day. But,
I know we still get a
just
tax brace for another year or so, Chiefy.
No, I think we get 400 and some bucks.
We do get
I've still got a payout coming from that fucking robo debt too. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was part of the class action against the arseholes saying you can't do that to people. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fucking put a robo debt on me 7 years after the fact. Fuck off, dickhead. You know what I mean? I'm glad you brought that system in. Congratulations to you. But you're now going to, you know, I was part of that. I got victimised, you know, in it. With them going, here's a huge fucking debt off the robo debt, yeah. And, well, the courts ruled you're not allowed to do that, so yeah, thank God I was part of that class action, because now I get a payout for it or whatever. For suffering or whatever, because I was in the category 2.
Okay.
Yeah?
Full fucking simulation setup.
Like a second voice.
Drags will have like a car shell sitting in his lounge room.
Did you pick up the Thomastown edition?
The Thomastown edition?
Steering wheel edition?
No, that's Gran Turismo 7 Thomastown edition. That's just full drifting, bro.
Full drifting. Full drifting.
Sick drift, bro.
Big drift.
I buy a new set of back tyres every 2 weeks.
Fucking hell, they must go through tyres, these guys.
Yeah. Oh, I can understand when you're young. I used to do it, man. A couple of times. I did it. I'd been doing a heap of burnouts because I finally had bought a car that could spin both back wheels, and I was that fucking excited. So I burnt the first set of tyres out, and then I went and spent $150 on decent back tyres, like 150 each.
Yeah.
In like 1993 or 4, that was a lot of money.
That's a bit, yeah.
And I went out about 2 nights later, and I can even remember the night because it was the fucking sickest burnout, bro. And I ruined that set of tyres in about a minute and a half. $300 down the drain. And it was a sick burnout. There was, because they were new tyres, there was that much like molten rubber in my wheel sort of arches and on the back of the car that it actually started to catch fire.
Oh yeah, shit.
The back of the car was just covered in this rubber.
drag trail going. Just trying to get a bit of time to keep up with these assholes. I don't know how they do it.
It was a fucking sick burnout, bro.
The first burnout, eh?
No, it wasn't the first. It was just the first of being stupid. But yeah, you could burn tyres out pretty quickly.
Hey,
Getting good smoke is all about wheel speed. So you don't just do a burnout in first gear. Especially if you've got an automatic, you start in first gear, but then you change to second, and then you change to third. You start to get that wheel speed going.
Boys just doing their Commodores and shit in the driveways all the time. Two cunts be at the back of the car holding it up, like they fucking on the side, and get the wheels out, and then they just drop it. And it was scary to watch them do it. They just drop it, then all of a sudden it'd be like, and just start arcing up, and you'd be like, oh, here it comes, and then just smoke, and then yeah, just watch these tyres disintegrate.
I could slow my car down to a complete crawl and be doing like 6,000 revs in top gear.
I learned from my mistakes one time, Chiefy, I'll tell you that much. Like, fucking, I stood behind the car because I was dumb, and that rubber coming off the... Wow, that's hot.
That's fucking
some hot shit.
rubber.
That is some hot fucking shit.
I was just saying, I melted a set of tyres in one sitting once, and the rubber on the back of the car was that hot that it was starting to catch fire.
Yeah, it was like, fucking, like, it hit your skin. Oh, fuck, I remember it. And yeah, I never stood near it again. I was like, fuck, this is dumb.
Best feeling, though.
But just watching these tyres shred themselves, though. You're literally watching the tyres just shred themselves.
When you're in a car that can do, like, you know, 150 plus k's an hour sitting on the spot, spinning its wheels, that's a good feeling. Chiefy had a fucking burnout machine.
Never really tested.
Brought you a bit of a tale of two halves against the Saints tonight.
Really.
I would have got it going for you, Chiefy.
I would have arced that shit up.
Just always, yeah, it's just always too weird. Poorly.
You gotta just let that go.
Yeah, I was a dumb young cunt. I
And then just not treat it mean.
So many times I think back now to, like, you know, I probably should have been dead many times over just some of the dumbest shit that I've done, but yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, the amount of nights coming down Bell Street, and even your brother can testify, Chiefy, me tear-assing down Bell Street, you know, neck and neck with some Commodore or something, doing phenomenal speed, like 150 plus. Phenomenal speed.
Especially down fucking there. Bell
Yeah.
Street, man, that's dangerous.
Fucking oath.
That's just a very...
Used to do that on a regular basis. Just
Chills
the
and
rush
shit.
of blood would just kick in.
Fuck yeah, you gotta be careful on that road.
Always getting smart asses in Commodores, just coming up next to me and booting it a bit and dropping back.
Fucking, I used to get, in this
back.
area, I used to get so many wankers and MVLs in the lights in my fucking Corolla. Because my rules were simple. We'd race to 80 k's, because that's the speed limit around here, shit like that. So we'd race to 80 k's. No Commodore can beat me in that Corolla, I'm telling you. Because it's just not possible. It's a fucking front-wheel drive fucking Corolla and just grabbing the road and going zoom, straight forward. You know what I mean? Like, you'd see him at the start, fucking a bit of wheel spin and shit, and then they'd catch up, and then, you know, by the time we hit about 80, they'll fly past me then, and, you know, and then go keep on boosting. But was all about speeding corners and like quick bursts, and not fucking, you know, didn't care. You all had the same car, VL Commodore. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I used to eat pretty much any Commodore around here off the lights in that little hatchback. If you were going to like race me off the lights, you weren't winning. And my car was just awesome because it would sit beside you and I'd laugh and shit because it was this little red hatchback, right? And it would not be making a sound. It would just be sitting there, not making a sound. But if I actually, like, and it was manual, but if I actually tapped the accelerator, you just hear it roar to life. It's had its force exhaust on it, just go vroom, and it just had this beautiful purr to it. It actually turned your head going, what the fuck? That car's making that noise? Do you know what I mean? Like, it really had that effect. I miss that car. It's a fucking great car.
Now it's all fucking golf. Golf drivers, soft dudes.
And that engine, I couldn't kill that engine. I killed one. But I killed one finally, but yeah, it took a lot of fucking effort.
You can kill a Toyota engine, but it does take a lot of beating.
Oh, fuck yeah. I blew a hole in the block fucking the size of a cent piece, so I threw a hot dog.
Chuck the rod.
It's fucked. That engine was kaput.
And yes, that's the end.
So I recommend doing that to your car, you know, like keep an eye on the oil and shit, but I still blame my mechanic on that. We've done something to the car, like in previously on the last service, because when I took it in, it idled at, say, 500 revs per minute, just sitting on the lights and shit. You'd sit there and it'd idle at 500, you know, and it was nice.
Probably a bit low.
Probably a bit low, but then, you know, but it was nice. It just, for the exhaust, it just was right, because it sat there, it was just like, you know, it was running, but you couldn't hear it. And as I said, when I dropped it on the accelerator, you could fucking hear it. And I liked that. But then I took it in for a service and shit, when I came out, like then, on a cold morning, fucking, like, when I started it up, it rev at 3,000 revs per, and I'm like, nah, that's too much for like a cold engine. That's like, yeah, but he reckoned, oh no, it's right, it levels off to 1,000, yeah, but it shouldn't run at 3,000 revs off a cold start.
Yeah, off the auto choke it will, the old auto choke.
Yeah. But the good, and then at that point I had troubles with it after he'd done whatever adjustment he'd done to change it to what he see was, what, I don't know. Used to,
just brought it back to the factory settings. That's what the factory setting would have been. On a cold start, it's got to rev at a certain rev and
I know, It's not good for the car though, so I think that's what fucked the engine.
Well, it's not as bad as you think because the engine restricts itself of air. So technically it's not as bad as what you think. It's getting a lot of lube and it's getting a lot of upper cylinder lube, more to the point. It's getting a lot of fuel. So yeah, technically it's not as bad as what you think.
That was bad.
It's one of the drawbacks of owning a Subaru with a rather large exhaust on it, in that when you start it up in the morning and it's cold, everybody within about 3 suburbs can hear it.
Oh, that was the problem with my car. My grandmother used to fucking hate me for it. She used to hate me for it.
And that's the biggest drawback about it. I think the Subaru revs at about 1,800 revs when you start it up when it's cold. Fucking pain in the arse. Modern engines are much better. The little Kia, when you start it up, you can barely hear it, and it revs at just over 1,000 revs on a cold start. And that drops to about 750 when it's warmed up.
Oh yeah, no, my hatchback crawler, as you said, it blocks away. This whole neighbourhood used to hate that car. I'm telling you.
I feel the same love from where I live, don't worry about it. I was thinking about driving it to work in the morning, but I can't be fucked. It's around the corner, I'll lose my parking spot. I'm doing gas works out the front for the next week.
Like that.
Can't park cars out the front. So I have to park it around the corner.
Too much space.
Gotta save some fucking money, throw some coin into it, and get it back to its form of glory. And a new set of wheels on it too. I hate the wheels that are on it. Should never have put those wheels on it. Had a look at wheels, and wheels aren't as dear as what they once were either.
Yeah, because the fad died off and shit. Now they're
You
just
can
like,
get rims pretty cheap these days.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I was thinking, you know, some of the decent looking wheels there, and thinking, fuck, you know, they're gonna be fucking
$1,000
at least sort of $400-500 a wheel. Around that mark, around 2,000 for a full set. But no, like, I was looking at a decent pair of just alloy 5-spoke with a nice looking wheels. Yeah, 125 each. I thought it was a fucking bargain. And they're alloy. At one stage you couldn't get alloy wheels for less than $1,000 each. Yeah, I always remember the gag when I bought my car. They were always trying to sell you extras. And one of them was that you could get the gold rally wheels.
Yeah.
And they were the exact same wheels that were on it, but they were just painted gold. And for this upgrade, you had to pay a whopping $1,000 a wheel, and you had to give them the wheels that were on the car.
What's that?
The painted wheels.
They would have been like, they were chrome dipped, dipped and whatever.
No, they were painted wheels, that's all they were. They were the same wheels that were on the car, but they were gold. And it's like, $1,000 each.
What did they actually paint them with? Gold?
I thought I misheard it in the beginning. I thought it was $1,000 for the whole lot. You know, for four. And then you take the wheels off it. Fair enough. You know, you get to keep the wheels that are on it. I get gold for $1,000. No, each. Say again.
Yeah, what are these the same prices you're speaking?
Some of the extras were insane. You could get leather seats, you could get all sorts of stuff. I just bought the base model WRX with a few nicer bits on it. And I even got the C package, the C spec. But that was it, it was the base. I got the engine enhancement package, and what else did I get? I got a subwoofer and amp under the seat for the stereo.
Yeah, you gotta have your sound.
I had a chrome strip on the boot that was from the Limited. What else did I get? Oh, that's right, I got the gear knob. Instead of having the leather gear knob, I got the Italian Momo gear knob. That was $500. But I've noticed mine's actually one of the very few that has that gear knob. Every one of my car that I've seen out there, I look in it and it's just got the black standard gear knob on it, which looks shit. I've got the big fucking round Momo gear knob.
Fully custom, bro. Oh, fuck.
But apart from that, yeah, I didn't get any of the leather seats or anything, and mine's just got cloth seats.
No, fucking, I prefer cloth seats over leather any day of the week. For some reason, like, I don't know, last long, I'm not comfortable and shit.
Leather seats are easier to keep clean, and that's about it. Because I've noticed my driver's seat is just fucked. My driver's seat's at the point of I'm considering just taking it to an upholsterer and just saying just redo it.
Yeah, redo it.
Which they can do. They can do it with the same fabrics and all that sort of shit. So, and it doesn't cost that much. Surprisingly, it's sort of, I think it's less than $500 to get a seat done. So, yeah, it's that dirty. But that's the only advantage to leather. You can keep it cleaner. In the summer, it's shocking. That was the only problem. Yeah, I had cars with leather interior. I had the Fairmont and then the LTD. You remember that LTD, Chibi? Big white beast.
Yep.
What did I have on the front seats of that? Fucking sheepskin fucking seat covers. I paid a fortune for those bastards too.
Oh, God.
They were awesome. They were so comfortable to sit on those sheepskin seat covers, man. Leather seats are just shit. I can't stand leather seats. For my own personal preference, yeah. I just, they're okay, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. No leather. No leather.
Especially when you jump in your car and it's freezing cold, like it's a real cold night or something, and you get in the car with leather seats and sit on the leather seats, and it's just so fucking cold.
Yeah, not enjoyable at all.
You just feel so fucking cold. Like, no, I've had cars with leather seats, that's enough for me. Fuck, I grew up in cars that had fucking vinyl seats. Oh, horrible. Chop up a few more cans and then head to bed. 10:49. Big day at work tomorrow, Chiefy. What part of the building are you going to fall asleep in tomorrow?
Front of house. I think the couch is right at the entrance. The main entrance.
Yeah.
I went to my usual spot one day,
The usual spot.
One of the days last week.
There was somebody already there.
I just wanted to go because I was just that tired. I was just fucked.
My usual spot.
Back where I hadn't been back there for a while. It's been a while since fucking COVID. So I was been so busy.
I haven't been to the usual spot for a
I
while.
was fucking tired last week. And there was one day I went, fuck, I'm gonna go to the
The usual spot.
And it's a storeroom where we store all the leather couches and shit like that.
Perfect one. Perfect spot.
Yeah, perfect environment.
It was perfect. Only when I got there, there was a couple of people in there that work. They're in the same sort of department, but they're...
You're thinking, you dirty cunt.
They were doing like a stock take of what was in there. I knew him, but...
Jamie's like, I just want to go lay on my bed. Can you fuck off so I can go lay on my bed? Like...
I just sat there like this. Like, oh, hey Gabby, there you go. Yeah, no, I'm just in here to...
Sleep?
Collect the desk chair.
An office chair, yeah? Played it off really well. They didn't suspect shit. They didn't suspect shit.
Someone, I did need to get the chair, but that was that straight away.
You pair of dirty cats.
Well, I saw the door was open. I got up to the door and I saw it was open. Yeah, I bet the door was open.
But I'm not here for a sneeze. But the usual spot. This is my usual spot. Now, fuck
Yeah,
off.
you're making the usual spot.
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Oh, man.
Some yeah, calm down.
You like being abused.
Yeah.
The ties and
I don't know how.
You need to get some chick that's into S&M, man.
Yeah. So she can beat your ass before you go to bed.
Yeah. You've been a bad boy, Chucky. Yes, I have. Pegging you, eating mashed potatoes out of your butt crack.
I remember seeing that. Remember the sketch show? The English version of the sketch show. They just do like skits.
Yeah,
The skits and
I've
stuff.
seen many of those.
The English show. And she comes out. Piston shit.
Back those days when fucking road cars had big blocks in them.
I'll take it. My last race for the night, but I get my back in this. Third. I'll take a third. Back for a finish. But yeah, something like that.
My back keeps going out. My freak can't get enough of yellow for that work.
Just the top half of it feels so wrong. Oh. Not comfortable at all. Oh, it's my race. Third position. Bad drags, not bad. Anyway, boys, I think that's actually almost me for the night. My back's really fucking... Oh, not good at all. Can't sit in this chair.
It's all G.
Yeah.
I'll catch you all later.
Towards the
Where
voice.
go?
Catch you on the flip. Really got to a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Been doing the midnights all last week and I was trying to...
But anyway, people, that's it. My back's done for the night. I'm out.